Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, my people in Nigeria and everywhere you may be listening to me. My name is Dr. Omo Milawal, and my today's message is for my Igbo extraction and the Yoruba extraction, especially in that space called Nigeria. I greet you again. Good morning. By now, everybody knows of the autobiography of the ex-president, soldier man, Brigadier General Badamosi Babangida. You have not read it, the book. You have heard one or two things at the launching. I had part of it, but I'm feeling disgusted. I turned it off, but I think I've had enough. My Igbo people, I want you to listen, and I want you to listen good. Don't get unnecessarily emotional about the pack of lies or half-truths you have heard about IBB's autobiography. I call it crap. Statements from the pit of hell. My people, my Yoruba people, don't get emotionally deflated or frustrated about the absolute nonsense IBB has written in his autobiography. I don't even call it autobiography. I call it a man whose soul has not given him rest in 32 years. That's how the conscience, the soul of a man can bother him to the point that he will have to vent. And IBB has no choice. He did not only wrong his longtime friend, late Moshood Kashimawo Olawale Abiola. There's a friendship that he did not betray. He betrayed his friend. And then he threw the entire Nigeria entity into chaos, calamity, destruction, unnecessary deaths, wastage of funds. And that is why we found ourselves where we are today. The center cannot hold. The country is not stable. The ethnic extractions are against one another. We don't even like each other. Igbos suspect Yoruba. Yoruba dislike some shenanigans about Igbos. And we all can't stand the Fulanis. Let me tell you, in a civilized country, what happened on the launching of Babangida's book should have catapulted some kind of clap for law-abiding people. It should be at that point where lawyers, policemen, DSS should have carted IBB away in an handcuff. Because this man has the temerity, he has the audacity, he has the impunity to say that he annulled a fair election, the first democratically conducted election. He annulled it. Look at the time and the funds that have been put into this exercise. And single-handedly, even though this man is always giving excuses, that some people were behind the annulment. But he knew what he signed for when he became a soldier. That is, he either dies at the war front or any eventuality could have happened that will claim his life. Yet, he was what I would call a gallant coward soldier. He's not fit to be a soldier. He's a coward man. He wants to live the civilian life and yet be called a general. A general, my foot. A man without honor. IBB is a man without honor. He has no integrity. He's a liar. And a man who has no soul. His soul is decadent. Is rotten. And is a wicked man. At that time, maybe the population of Nigeria was 180, 170, 150. I don't even care what the population was at that time. But for one man to unilaterally annul a fair, well-conducted exercise like the one in which Abiola won is a man without honor, a man without conscience. And I don't buy any of his nonsense. Blames were placed on so many people except himself, except that he claimed that he annulled it. We already knew that. There is nothing new in the garbage he put in his autobiography. That's not an autobiography. That's a confession of a man who had no rest, whose soul cannot find rest. There's something in the Bible that says that God will give us peace that passeth all human understanding. That even in the midst of the storm, you will have rest. Nobody's running after Babangida. Nobody is even challenging him. But you know what? Babangida will find no rest with his soul. Until he departs this world, his soul will be in torment. He will not have peace. He can't have peace. Because of that annulment 32 years ago, look at what Nigeria has become. Everybody now wants to get out of this contraption called Nigeria. Igbo has been yearning. Yoruba has been shouting. The rest of the extractions are murmuring and groaning. They want to leave that country called Nigeria. You and I, except you are lying to yourself, know that Nigeria is not a nation. There is no commonality in language. There is no similarities in culture or traditions. We do not have the same moral ethos. Some people prefer to war than to jojo. And when you want to jojo, they think you are either a coward, or you are stupid, or you have no guts. Some people would like to kill when they get angry. And when we look at what we have now in that space called Nigeria, it is like a Titanic about to sink. Nigeria cannot hold. I don't care what anybody says. You can patch a boat for so long, but after a while, it's going to sink. Nigeria is a Titanic ship. It's about to sink. My Igbo friends, yes, Nzego, Kaduna Nzego, wanted a change of government. As young as he is, he realized that Nigeria was not being run by the right people. And he said it. He said it's being run by semi-illiterates. People that want to dominate or not doing things right. And he confessed with his friend, Brigadier Olutoye, that if the coup succeed, he does not want to be the head of state. He doesn't want to be the president. But he has found somebody And when Olutoye asked him who was he intending to give the baton of authority to, he said he has found a man in Calabar prison. And that man was Awolowo. Was it Awolowo that told him to go and choose him? Was it Awolowo that asked him to stage a coup? Or was it Awolowo intending to be a president? No. But Kaduna Nzegu had seen the handwriting on the wall that we cannot continue to be in the midst of morons, imbeciles, running the country aground and expect to advance, to succeed, and to be among the committee of nations that are called successful nations or civilized nations. Nigeria is not a civilized country. We have different rules for different people. Nepotism here and there, barbarism here and there, ineptitude here and there. And unfortunately, if I might say it, unfortunately, that country called Nigeria is a geopolitical expression. It's not a country. A country will have its language. We do not have a language in Nigeria. We all speak the language of the neo-colonialists, the language of the imperialists that ensnared and encaptured us, encapsulate us. The British encapsulated us and they give us, they force their language down our throat. And our indigenous languages, Igbo, Hausa, Yoruba, are regarded as vernaculars. They are all vernaculars to them. It's not a language. But they consider German a language, French a language. They even consider Arabic a language. And they consider Nigeria ethnic or extractions, their languages as vernacular. So, Awolowo is not guilty. And I'm not going to say Nzegu was guilty. He had a conviction about something that he cared about running the country in an appropriate, diligent, prudent manner. And he realized that the people that were doing it were not doing it right. So there's supposed to be a change. But the process, the procedure that he used will be what I consider wrong. But what will you expect from a soldier? Soldiers don't know more than coups and battles and wars. And from what Brigadier Olutoye said, Kaduna Nzegu was not really very knowledgeable. Probably was still young in the army. Is not wise enough to understand that in a country where we have diametrically opposed extractions, things cannot be done the way he wanted to do it. And he recruited, he wanted people to join him, not only Igbos, I believe that. He wanted as many extractions in the army to join him. And that's why Ademoyega, the Yoruba guy, joined him, because he also believed that the country wasn't being run properly since independence. And you know that at the independence, I didn't think Obafemi Awolowo was there. I didn't think Azikwe was there. I didn't think Okotiebo was there. I didn't think Enaoro was there. And I didn't think Akitola was there. Those are mighty men at that time that I would call political giants of our time at that time. The Okparas was not there. So automatically, this young man called Nzegu, Kaduna Nzegu, who spoke Hausa fluently, despite the fact that his parents were Igbos, he was born in Kaduna, knew that the country cannot continue that way. And he wanted many people to join the coup, but only one Yoruba man joined, and the 5 were Igbos. But when the coup was carried out, we don't know the motivation that made these people killed only Yorubas and the Hausas and Fulanis at that time. I don't know. We will have to wait till we get to somewhere to find out. And they're not here to defend themselves. So whatever crap IBB have written in that book, the book that he did not even write by himself, he paid somebody to write it for him. I don't believe a word of it. IB is a liar. IBB is a liar. A treacherous man, a saboteur, a disloyal friend, and a coward soldier. Many soldiers will take a bullet for a nation. Martin Luther King did at age 39. 1993 fair and square election, Babangida was over 50. He was over 50 or near 50. And yet he was afraid of death. Why did he go to the army? I am not a soldier, but I'm not afraid of death because I know death is a necessary end. It will come when it will come. But Babangida, a brigadier for that matter, was afraid that he will get killed. He will get killed if he has done the right thing. Tell me, who says that you cannot die for doing the right thing? You will be honored for it. But Babangida refused to make a legitimate good name for himself. He refused to leave a good name on the annals of Nigeria because nobody's going to write a good story about Babangida. Even when he dies, the dirges that will come will recriminate him. The epitaph that people will write will not be kind to him. It will not be a lovely epitaph. Let me tell you something, and I don't care what any one of you might say about this. The Fulanis do not want peace anywhere. Go to Central African Republic and see the damages that Fulani had done to that country. They do not know about advancement. They hate law and order. They hate peaceful coexistence. What Fulani knows and practices is dehumanization, is intimidation, is subjugation and control. And when they cannot get it, they are ready to kill anybody to get what they want. Is that the way a civilized society should run? Yes, we know that Fulani is not part of even our own country. They are part of the Berbers, the Arabian extraction. And we learned that they were sent out maybe because of the color of their skin or because of their egregious activities. They were sent into the bush. And you will realize that even in Nigeria, the Fulani do not want to be in decent built houses. They want to live in the bush with their animals, with the cows, and do their nefarious, nonsensical abominations with the cows. Go and ask the Ghanaians, and they will tell you exactly what the Fulanis were doing in their country before they relegate them to where they belong. But unfortunately, my people, it was an unfortunate incident that when Uthman Danfodio came to the north in 1809. He came as a guest. Did you hear me? Woodman Danfodio, from wherever he alighted from wherever he came from. He came to the north, yes, to the Hausa domain. As a guest, he was treated nicely, lovely. And when he realized that these Hausa people are loving, accommodating people, peaceful, loving people, he took that advantage. He abused the relationship they have forged with him. And he convinced their children that their fathers were not practicing Islam the right way. And therefore advised these children to start killing their fathers. And I'm sure they joined in the killing too. They assisted the Hausa children to start killing their parents. And from there, the killings continued, even up to today. They have done so much havoc to the Hausas that the Hausas have no voice any longer. They've killed their leaders, their stalwart men, women, chiefs. Fulani do not practice Islam. With the way they practice their Islam, you will know that they are barbaric. My parents were Muslims. In our area, we are surrounded by Christian homes. We are friendly. We have a relationship with them. During Easter, on Good Friday, they will bring us what we call frijon, a dish made with black beans. We will accept it. We will eat it. We will enjoy it. During Salah time, my grandfather will give them meat, salt, cassava, flour, and rice, and they will accept it. We are in harmony. When they are sick, before they go to hospital, they will come to my granny, because my granny, for one reason or the other, has organic medications. Whether you have epilepsy, you have this, you have that, my granny has the medication for it. And besides, his first son was a doctor, a medical doctor. In my house, I have uncles that are doctors, Navy, Air Force, soldier, police. We have all of them in my house because my granny had 18 children. We have accountants among my uncles. So everybody regarded my grandfather as a force to reckon with in our area. In Lagos, I'm a Lagosian. I'm a Yoruba girl. But since this Fulani got emboldened, after they've killed so many houses, they start changing their streets. For instance, Sokoto was not Sokoto. Sokoto is not Hausa's language. It's a Fulani language. It was Gobar. It was changed from Gobar to Sokoto. And they put their emir there. They call it the Sultan of Sokoto, calling him the leader of the Muslim. Which Muslim? Before the Fulani came in 1609, the Yorubas have been existing in their domain, and we have Muslims, we have Christians. Through Bishop Ajayi Crowder, we have Christians. He brought Christianity to Nigeria. I don't know who brought Islam, but it was not Uthman Danfodio. But he's now lording this religion over everybody, thinking that that's the way to steal other people's land. After he thought he has won the north, they are now going to the plateau, the Benue, and killing them. Killing them! Because they want to occupy their lands. Fulani do not have a land or a place in Nigeria. They are encroachers. And you people have accepted them because they use the barrel of the gun. They are sword. They are quick to kill. I hate to call them beasts of no gender. Fulani do not operate like human beings. They are like beasts, wild beasts. And they are ready to kill for whatever they want. And that is what we have now. Babangida is not a Yoruba man. He's not an Igbo man. He's a Fulani man. And you cannot expect him to like the Igbos or the Yorubas. They will still use him. If we are a civilized country, should we even allow the likes of Abacha to rule a country like Nigeria? Where almost everybody in Ekiti have PhDs? Where half of Ondo people are educated? Half of Ogun State were elegant, sophisticated people? And they are educated. Yorubas have been educating themselves as far back as 1800s. Doctors, lawyers, engineers all over the place. But what has Fulani brought to us? Nothing but decadence. Decadence. Horrors. Killings and killings and killings. And they haven't stopped. What civilization have you seen since Fulani took power? And I'll call it proxy power from the British, because it's the British that is encouraging these people to do everything they are doing because of their selfish self-aggrandizement. Fulani is not part of Nigerians, so I'm still telling us that. They are not. But they have now made themselves the ubiquitous landlords. And they're ready to do anything to take the Yorubas land. They may not want to do that with the Igbos because they realize that the Igbos will fight them tooth nail. But they know the Yorubas are soft. And there's some of us that will capitulate, that will give in because they want peace. There are some that will not defend their heritage. Femi Adesina, Babangida's personal assistant, said something, and it makes me laugh. How some people denigrate their own integrity, their own heritage because of a position. Adesina said, you had better give the Fulani the land or your life. You have to choose. Can you believe that? Will the French people allow America to come and take France from them just because they're not afraid? Just because they're afraid to die? Will the Americans allow the Canadians to come and take part of United States just because they're afraid to fight Canada? But this bastard, Femi Adesina, is a bastard Yoruba man, telling us to give our lands or give our life because he's an ass licker to Buhari. Should even Buhari, Muhammadu Buhari, whom I will call maybe a military junta, but academically imbecilic, a moron. What did he do for Nigeria for his 8 years? for his 8 years administration. What did Buhari, what did he do? He brought Boko Haram, the eastward, they looted the treasury. Majority of the Fulani morons are billionaires. And he ensured that he took care of his people in our land, in our own country. Fulani, I'm still repeating it, is not part of Nigeria. They are encroachers. They are marauders. And the so-called, they are born to rule. Who rule who? You rule your people. Are we your people? Are the Igbos your people? Are the Yorubas your people? Are the other extractions your people? If you want to rule your people, then go to your own country and rule your Saudi Arabians or your Berbers or wherever you come from. You are not part of Nigeria, Fulanis. I am saying it with my bold chest. Whatever you need to do, do it. I don't care. You have now gained almost 70-80% territorial control of that country called Nigeria. Now you wanted to kill and massacre and destroy. If you can't have it, you destroy it. If you don't destroy it, you kill it. You burn it. Are you crazy? How many of your own people have you killed? Why is it the blood of other people that incites you to do this nefarious brutality? Why are you so bent in killing others and not yourselves? You could kill yourself, kill your children, but you choose to kill other people. For what? Because you want their land, to rule them, to control them, to dehumanize them, to intimidate them. Why? What is wrong with you? Are you the Nephilim that all you want is just blood? Blood. Are you crazy? If you have lost your soul, go and find it in the desert and stay there and leave us alone. And I meant it. Leave Yorubas alone. We don't want anything. Those that want you, you can take them with you. Majority, the masses of Yorubas do not want you. We have tried to live with you, sympathize with you, try to educate you. You don't want to be educated. You are barbaric. You are beasts of no gender. That's why there's no advancement in Nigeria. Because if late Obafemi Awolowo had had the opportunity to rule that country even for 4 years, America will be begging us today to come. But look at what is happening. We are begging, crying, screaming for America to allow us to come in, for London to take us, for Saudi Arabia. We are not running helter-skelter from our own country, a country that is blessed. That country called Nigeria, especially the Yoruba side, we are blessed with everything any human being can ever ask for. We have the human capacity. We have the natural resources. We have the capability of running a standardized country. We are better than China. We are better than Singapore and Malaysia 35, 40 years ago. Look at where we are. The second poorest nation in the world. Caused by who? Fulanis. Uneducated morons wanting to rule PhDs. Is that not what happened between Buhari and Femi Yemi Osinbajo? Yemi Osinbajo, a PhD holder in law, as a second in command to a moronic idiot. To an idiot. A functional illiterate. That's what Buhari is. He's a functional illiterate. Yes, he went into the army. So bloody what? You know how they gave they gave all kinds of posts, position, titles, brigadier, general what? Of foolishness and nonsense. What did he do when he got to that position? He started killing, looting. And that's what people are clapping for. Because they have lost their mind. Their cerebrum has been evacuated. That's why you find both some stupid Yorubas and Igbos wanting to kiss Buhari in non-entity's ass. So that they can retain their position. And they too can find the opportunity to loot. To loot. Shame on all of you Yorubas that are capitulating. Selling your soul, your heritage to Fulanis because of what you are going to eat. You are eating bread of sorrow and drinking water of calamity. That's what is happening. And you will soon regret it. Now, for those of us that saw what happened during that launching, I think it's just a bunch of balderdash. Nobody should take a single knowledge or wisdom. There's no wisdom there. If a man has no guts until after 32 years to come and confess what we already knew, 2 days after he annulled it, you think we can get anything out of it after 32 years? Yes. He wants validation. And for IBB, a devious devil, he's a devilish man. His people might put him up to something again. Go and cause riot between Yorubas and Igbos. That's why my Igbo people, don't listen. Do not listen to IBB. IBB is a bastard. He's a liar. He's a coward. And he has nothing to give to us, especially we Igbos and Yorubas. They want to cause another fracas. They want to incite hatred. They want to cause us major disagreement. We are not going to allow it, IBB and your cronies. We are leaving Nigeria, so no amount of trouble or nonsense you can foment will make us turn back. We are not going to surrender to your tactics, your antics, and your nonsense. If your Fulani cabals have put you up to this, they have failed. Because we are going to be relentless. We are resolute in our decision, in our conviction that we cannot stay in the same space with the Fulanis. To thy tent, O Israel, let Fulani go back to where they come from or stay in the north. They and the Hausas will slug it out. But leave our territory and leave us alone. You don't want education, but you want to carry AK-47 compiled together by an engineer. You don't want good education, you want to drive the best airplane. You don't want education, you want to drive the best cars. Who do you think built those things? The Quran built them. Is that what your Quran built? Is it not education? Doctors, you want to be healed by the best doctors, but you don't want anybody to be doctors. You don't want them to go to school. Do you see how stupid, how nonsensical your reasoning is? I'm not going to talk too much, but I want to tell you, my Igbo friends, colleagues, and my Yoruba sensible people, do not let us focus on that useless autobiographical balderdash. It is nothing but a soul-wrenching confession. It's a confession. Babangida should go to his cleric imams and give them all that crap. We don't want to hear about it. I don't care whether you acknowledge it or not. We already knew who you are. You are devious. You are a deviant. And you are not a loyal friend to Abiola. Even Abiola will be cursing you in his grave. And the blood of those that paid for that 1993 election, fair, square, one election, their blood is crying, and they will not give you peace. Ibrahim, Badamosi, Babangida, you will have no peace. And I meant it. There is no peace. There is no peace for the wicked. You are a wicked man. You are a traitor. You are a pariah. A selfish, self-centered man. Selfish. You care so much about yourself, you plunge over 100 million people into chaos, into calamity, into sorrow. And you think you're yes, some idiots will forgive you. You don't deserve any forgiveness. You need to pay for your crime. And don't think, because they didn't cut you away, that you're not going to face justice. You will face justice. If it's the last thing fair-minded Yorubas and Igbos will do to you, you will face justice. So, my fellow Igbos, my authentic Yoruba, do not fret. Do not be dismayed. Let's be focused. We are going to establish our Yoruba nation. Babangida's useless confession called autobiography will not stop us. We are not relenting. We are not going back. And we are not surrendering. No going back. We are focused. And we are going to march on forward until we attain our Yoruba nation. That is it. And I encourage and implore my Igbo friends, do not listen to the nonsense Babangida has written. There is nothing said in that useless, trashy book that is of any importance. There's not substance there. Babangida is a big, vagrant liar. He's a liar, blatant liar. If you believe him, you will fall for him. I don't believe any crap he said. Already he's getting his punishment. He will never walk. He will never wear the two shoes together. Let him be on his wheelchair. That's part of his punishment. But he hasn't seen anything yet. That's just the tip of the iceberg. Tell him he has not seen anything yet. When the onslaught of God would descend upon him, he will beg for death, and it will not come. He's going to face the onslaught of God. That is the judgment for Ibrahim, Badamosi, Babangida. A traitor, a disloyal friend, and a wicked soul. But judgment is coming. Coming, and it's coming big time for you. My friends, this is all I have for you today. You all have a wonderful day. It's a new week, a new day. Let's get started. Go and prosper. I remain your sister, your friend, Dr. Mo Milawal. Have a wonderful day, everyone. Bye-bye.